Last video we have discussed regarding timer. Okay, now we shall discuss regarding PLL. How to obtain a desired amount of multiplication in frequency multiplier by selecting a proper divide by n network. So once again I repeat, how to obtain a desired amount of multiplication in frequency multiplier. So by selecting proper divide by n network. So if you come to the equation, f out equals to divide by n network into f in. So if you want to get a frequency output, desired frequency output, so divide by n network into f in, that is input. For what kind of input signal the frequency divider can be avoided frequency multiplier? Okay, for what kind of input signal the frequency divider can be avoided? Okay, can be avoided frequency multiplier for the triangular waveform. Free running multivibrator is also called as voltage control oscillator, that is VCO. Free running multivibrator is also called as what? Voltage control oscillator. The output voltage of phase detector. So the output voltage of phase detector is error voltage. The output voltage of a phase detector is error voltage. At which state the phase locked loop tracks any change in input frequency? So in which stage or state the phase locked loop tracks if any changes in the input frequency? Okay, so when it will track phase locked state. Okay, phase locked state, you will come to know if any frequency change. Okay, it will track. So the state is phase locked state. Before input frequency applied, we call it as a PLL free running state. Before we did not apply frequency. Okay, before that we call it as a what? PLL free running state. Okay, when we apply frequency. Okay, when the input frequency is applied, so that we call it as a PLL capture mode. Okay, after input frequency applied, so after we have already applied frequency. Okay, so for that PLL phase locked state. Next, what is the function of low pass filter? First of all, filter, remember, remove noise. Okay, so what is the function of low pass filter in phase locked loop? It removes a high frequency noise. What is the need to generate corrective control voltage? So to maintain the lock, to track the frequency change. Why we need, right? What is the need to generate corrective control voltage? To maintain the lock, to track the frequency change, to shift the voltage controlled oscillator frequency. Next, at what range the PLL can maintain the lock in the circuit? So it is a answer is lock in range. So at what range means PLL can maintain the lock in the circuit? So lock in range. Pull in time depends on, okay, overall loop gain, loop filter characteristics, that is initial phase and frequency difference between two signs. Pull in time depends on overall loop gain, loop filter characteristics, initial phase and frequency difference between two signs. Next, which of the following applications include a phase locked loop circuit? So it is a modems, AM decoders, tracking filters. remember PLL applications, that is modems, AM decoders, tracking filters. Modems, decoders, tracking filters. How many VCC connections does the 565 PLL use? 2. Okay, 2 VCC connections. Applications of PLL. Applications of PLL is frequency multiplier, that is AM also, frequency synthesizer, frequency demodulator, frequency shift keying demodulator. Applications of PLL is multiplier, synthesizer, demodulator, frequency shift keying demodulator, and AM also. Next, analog phase detector, that is analog phase detector is often referred as half-wave detector. Analog phase detector is often referred as what? Half-wave detector. kV equals to 1 divided by 8 into RC, that is VUT minus VLT. F equals to, we can write the equation kV into K suffix V, it is K suffix V into Vi. PLL circuit can be used for which of the following reasons, that is both for phase tracking and frequency. PLL circuit can be used for phase tracking and frequency. In PLL, the capture range is always less than the lock range. So they are saying that in PLL the capture range is always less than the lock range. So that means lock range will be high. In AM detector using PLL, the phase detector is basically a multiplier which produces sum and difference components of frequencies at its output. AM detector using PLL, the phase detector is basically a multiplier which produces, phase detector is basically a multiplier which produces sum and difference components of frequencies at its output. In VCO, that is voltage controlled oscillator, IC566, the value of charging and discharging is depend on the voltage applied at modulating input. In communication circuits, PLL is currently applicable for demodulation applications and tracking a carrier or synchronizing a signal. In locked state of PLL, the phase error between the input and output is minimum. In locked state PLL, the phase error between the input and output is minimum. Once the phase is locked, the PLL tracks the variation in the input frequency. This indicates that output frequency changes by same amount as that of input frequency. They are saying that once the phase is locked, the PLL tracks the variation in the input frequency. This indicates that output frequency changes by same amount as that of input frequency. Which characteristics of PLL is defined as a range of frequencies over which PLL can acquire lock with input signal, that is capture range. PLL can acquire lock with input signal, that is a capture range. PLL can lock with input signal. According to transfer characteristics of PLL, the phase error between VCO output and incoming signal must be obtained between 0 and pi in order to maintain a lock. Next, some equations, that is free running frequency F0 equals to 1.2 divided by 4 R1 C1 in terms of hertz. FL equals to plus or minus, that is lock range plus or minus 8 into F naught divided by V. Capture range Fc equals to plus or minus Fl divided by 2 pi into 3.6 into 10 to the power of 3 into C2 whole to the power of 1 by 2. Vc1 is nothing but F1 minus F0 divided by Kv. Vc2 equals to F2 minus F0 divided by Kv. Kv is a voltage to frequency transfer coefficient of the voltage controlled oscillator. So these are the important equations if they have given any MCQ problems. Okay, if they have given any problem on this. Thank you for watching.